Good evening. My name is Eric Alfagoy, and this is my topic for Hospitality 101. My teacher being Mr. Brian Lesson, and it's based upon culinary practices at themed restaurants. Now, considerations for bars and restaurants during COVID 19. When it comes to restaurants and bars during COVID 19, this is just to cover the tips and considerations just to protect not only the employees of the establishment but for customers and communities to slowly curb the COVID 19 virus. Now, what are guests looking for when it comes to COVID 19 safety information regarding the restaurant that they want to go to and before they enter the establishment? Number one thing, sanitation and cleanliness. When it comes to sanitation and cleanliness, guests are looking for protocols and state mandates being followed by what Governor Newsom has put out and mandated for all bars and restaurants to follow. When it comes to COVID 19, number one thing that needs to be addressed constantly is social distancing, which is 6 feet apart. When it comes to social distancing at 6 feet apart, everybody needs to be apart from each other, from the front of the house to wherever they're sitting at. Everybody needs to be a table apart, which can equal out easy to 6 feet. When it comes to a certain amount, it's basing off of how much that the restaurant can allow in, which is can be 25%, 15%, 10%, whatever kind of percent that the state of California mandates for its restaurants and bars. So when restaurants were open, it was only 25%, and everybody was at least a table apart. Reassurance. When it comes to reassurance, guests, whenever they enter the establishment, they want to know that the restaurant is clean and sanitized from top to bottom, left to right, and making sure that the staff members, every staff member, is following COVID 19 protocols by cleaning and sanitizing wherever they go. Mask usage. When it comes to mask usage, for me, from a managerial position, I wouldn't have a problem when guests have sitting down and they take out their masks so that way they're not walking around during that traffic, sort of transmitting disease. Um, but if they're up and about, then mask usage would need to be constant on there, especially for staff members who are currently working that day. Paper and digital menus. For paper and digital menus, I've seen this on and off, but when it comes to paper menus, there's only been several establishments, several restaurants that have used that method, but nowadays, when it comes to menus, everybody is switching to digital. It's a lot easier, it's a lot faster, food can come in and out at a more reasonable pace, and guests can take off whenever they are done. Hand sanitizer locations. When it comes to hand sanitizer locations, that is a definite must because everybody needs to know where all these locations are at so that way they can safely sanitize their hands. So for the locations, it needs to be the front of the house at every POS system, everywhere that they can, where guests can easily access it as much as the staff members. Now, what do guests want from COVID 19 friendly menu items that are not shared plates slash experience? For this one can lead in both directions because for this, you need to think outside the box, such as maybe redesigning the menu by either slashing 25% of the menu off from your original menu, or you can even put together a new menu and put the items that have sold the most and sell it from there. But from select for the select items, 15 or 20% off. This is what reels the customers in more than anything because nobody wants to pay full price. So once they see that 15 20% off, that's what's going to bring in more business because nobody really wants to pay the full price and they can get a lot more bang for their buck. Curbside pickup and delivery. These two can go easily hand in hand because when it comes to curbside pickup, either people are too busy to go out of their way to the establishment itself, or they can usually use the app Grubhub or Uber Eats for that option. For delivery, when it comes to delivery, this is not really too known that well because when it comes to delivery, it's usually, like I said, Uber Eats or Grubhub, but nobody knows delivery more than pizza restaurants. For new menu items, when it comes to new menu items, guests are always looking for the next best thing, something that can give them one up over every other restaurant. So that would need some serious thinking and consideration for that. Reaching out to the community. When it comes to reaching out for the community, it can be some type of fundraiser or charity event that's hosted by the restaurant of choice that is hosting that event and maintaining it. Social media. When it comes to social media, this is the most preferred method of all time because nobody does, how should I say this? On social media, that is the most preferred method of viewing any kind of attraction, restaurant, hotel, you name it, because that is where the real ratings and the guest commentary can come from there. And but not only that too, but when you're at a restaurant, you can easily see what the chefs are cooking, what they're presenting towards their guests, so that way they can know just from the safety of the comfort of their own home that they see what the cooks and chefs are making from there. That way, that can kind of get them into the restaurant a lot quicker. Now, the cook capabilities of the guests' wants and needs. Now, from the variety of the menu, um, the cooks need to have a solid foundation and knowledge of the menu itself, so that way they have all the food that they need to prep the menu items as well as with the tools and utensils that are made for that menu. Knowledge from all staff members. Now, from knowledge of all staff members, this also goes with the food allergies and foodborne illness because when it comes to knowledge of the menu items, both the back of the house and the front of the house, they both need to know what's in these menu items because, say, if somebody's allergic to peanuts, then that can resort into food allergies or foodborne illness easily, and hopefully doesn't involve legal action. Let's see, COVID-19 protocols. As you can tell, these gentlemen are wearing masks, which is safe and smart, and they're also wearing gloves too, which definitely minimizes the COVID-19 transaction. Timing. When it comes to timing, the cooks need the waiters and waitresses to get to the food out on time, but not only that, but the cooks and chefs need to get the food prepped and ready to go at a certain time frame. Food allergy, no, already organized. When it comes to organize, again, I want to touch bases again with food allergies and foreign illness because when it comes to organization, it makes the operation not only run smoothly, but it prevents a mishap from adding something into one of their dishes and definitely not altering the menu item itself. So when it comes to being organized, it's definitely a lot safer. It makes the operation run smoother and it prevents any kind of food allergies or borne illness. Last but not least, the major bulk of this presentation and training assessment. Culinary practices. When it comes to cooking skills, you need to know different recipes and also learn how to enhance a menu item, such as, for instance, when it comes to making gravy from scratch, you can either use oil as a base foundation or butter. Butter is the most preferred method because when it comes to making that certain dish, the butter will make it the taste a lot better and the texture a lot more smoother as well. Strong employability traits. This one's straight to the point. You need to be a team member. You need to get along with everybody, but not only that, but you need to keep cool under pressure because this career is definitely multitasking. It's fast. People skills. When it comes to people skills, you need to learn how to deal with the front of the house. Say, if a guest is not satisfied with what is coming out to them multiple times, then you may need to go out there in place of the manager actually, and to resolve the situation from there. Menu development skills. When it comes to menu development skills, you need to construct a menu for whichever restaurant that you're at. Say if it's an Italian restaurant, but there's a portion that's just uh, say Mexican or American, then those two wouldn't go together really, because when it comes to menu development, it needs to be all within the setting and the ambience of the restaurant. Next, nutrition knowledge. When it comes to nutrition knowledge, chefs and cooks alike need to know how to make a healthier selection when it comes to the menu, and put out healthier dishes, because although a lot of folks like to have a lot higher calorie menu, some others would like to have a lower calorie, healthy, lean menu that doesn't pack a whole lot of calories. Sanitation and safety and knowledge. When it comes to sanitation and safety and knowledge, you need to know certain aspects of personal hygiene, or how to not cross contaminate, or even the structure of the walk-in reefer and freezer, which food items actually need to go on top, and then which needs to go on the bottom, which in the middle, stuff like that. And last but not least, when it comes to accounting and computer skills, I know I've said this a lot, but this really goes hand in hand, because when it comes to accounting and computer skills, everything is done electronically nowadays, because although the waiter and waitress is writing down your menu and meal items, I mean, it's everything is all done electronically through a POS system. And not only that, but for the accounting skills, chefs and cooks need to learn how to budget not only their menu items but also their food costs as well too. So that way they can kind of take inventory electronically, how much they're spending, how much they need to save when it comes to the establishment and their food item menus. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you, sir. I will be sitting by for any kind of commentary, comments, considerations, whatever you may have for me, sir. And I thank you for your time, and have a good night. Thank you.